Good afternoon. Today is Tuesday, April 14th, approximately 4:05. I'd like to call this meeting to order. Bay County Commissioners, roll call, please.
Durancheck.
Here.
Begic.
Here.
Coonan.
Here.
Herrick.
Here.
Tilly.
Here.
Lutz.
Here.
Krieger.
Yes.
7 here.
Very good. We'll stand for the invocation and the pledge.
Almighty God, our Heavenly Father, we come before you this day asking that you bless this session of the County Commission. Lord, we ask that you give to its members the courage of their own convictions, that they work for the common good of all with the strength of confidence placed in them by election to office. May your divine providence guide our county and bring dignity, prosperity, respect, and order to every citizen. Amen.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. I'm assuming everyone had an opportunity to review the minutes. What's your pleasure?
Motion approved. Support.
Any discussion on the minutes? With none, all those in favor signal by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. This time, we'll go into citizens' input. If there's anyone out there that would like to address the Board of Commissioners, now would be the time to do so. Yep, they're knocking down the doors. All right, then we'll move on into petitions and communications. We have a number of presentations. First, we'll start off with the Michigan Green Schools. It's recognition of All Saints Catholic Elementary, Auburn Area Catholic School, Bay Area Neck ISD Career Center, and John Glenn High School for achievements of Evergreen Level MI Green School designation. And Commissioner Tilly, if you do the honors.
So moved. Support.
Any discussion? I would like to mention the fact that Auburn, this is their 4th time receiving this. It's quite an accomplishment. So that being said, all those in favor signal by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? It carries. If you'd read the resolution for me, please.
Whereas in 2010, the Bay County Board of Commissioners approved participation in the Michigan Green School Initiative, which grants Michigan Green School designation to any public or private school in Michigan that meets certain criteria. And whereas in 2012, the Board of Commissioners approved continued participation in this program, with administration of the program being provided through the Department of Environmental Affairs and Community Development. And whereas this year, Michigan Green School applications have been received from All Saints Catholic Elementary School, the Auburn Area Catholic School, Bay Area Neck ISD Career Center, and John Glenn High School, all meeting the requirements outlined in the Act to qualify as a Michigan Green School. And whereas all 4 schools, All Saints Catholic Elementary School, the Auburn Area Catholic School, Bay Area Neck ISD Career Center, and John Glenn High School have each submitted 20 or more points and meet the requirements to be awarded the Evergreen Level Michigan Green School designation. Therefore, be it resolved that the Bay County Board of Commissioners and Bay County Executive go on record recognizing the hard work and commitment to promote sound environmental stewardship and energy conservation shown by All Saints Catholic Elementary School, the Auburn Area Catholic School, Bay Area Neck ISD Career Center, and John Glenn High School in achieving their Evergreen Level Michigan Green School designation.
Very good. Thank you. So I'd like to have from Auburn, Brandon Krause come up. From John Glenn, Lucas Palis. From the ISD, Kathy Lalonde. And from All Saints, Mary Beth Nates. And Alicia. Alicia, please.
On behalf of the Bay County Board of Commissioners, I want to thank all of you for participating in this endeavor. I brought this forward back in 2010, and I really appreciate all the work that Alicia has done in making sure the program has continued on over the years. Strongly encourage other school districts to pick up this initiative. Very easy. I know the first 10 points are real simple. Getting to the next level isn't much harder than that. And again, I really want to thank you for taking the initiative to lead the county this endeavor within our schools. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Yes, I'd like to commend these schools. They not only do green schools to earn this recognition. This is the culture of these schools. These schools do everything possible to reduce the use of energy. They incorporate conservation of both energy and resources into every aspect of their schools, from recycling paper, which is so easy and everybody does it, but they also recycle clothing in some of the schools, where they pass down their spirit clothes so that students that can't afford the clothes can have things. That's part of recycling. That's part of conserving within these schools. It's also, they incorporate it into their lessons and what the kids do in their volunteer work. So it's very commendable. And the hardest part of the program of gaining this recognition isn't doing the things that they already do. You're not adding things just for this recognition. It's writing it down. It's recording it and getting to schools. So every county in Bay County probably would qualify for some level of Michigan Green School. It's just they need someone to fill out the application and apply for it. And I try to make that opportunity available, and I really appreciate these 4 schools because they have stuck with it. And 3 years for John Glenn and Bay Area ISD and All Saints, and Auburn has been for 4 years. And I really appreciate their continued support and participation in this program.
Very good.
They not only are getting recognition from the county, but also from the state. And that's what we should pass on.
Yeah, this is actually a recognition by the governor. And they're receiving their flags. Now, you guys said you didn't get a flag. You have a flag. They fly it inside. Some of them fly it outside, and the wind kind of ripped them apart. So they fly theirs inside, but they got another patch, so they can add that to their flag.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Very good.
Thanks.
Thank you for your support.
Don't worry, I got this. Okay.
Thank you. Next under presentations, we have Wolverine pipeline presentation by Eric. I believe it's Damoff. Am I correct? I hope I said your last name correct. Good afternoon.
How are you?
We're great.
My name is Eric Demoff. I work on behalf of Wolverine Pipeline. Probably about 5 or 6 years ago, we started the Partners in Pipeline Education Program, which is kind of just go around the state talking to the communities where we do business in. And we kind of just tell you a little about what we do and some of the safety precautions we take and what you should do in case of emergency, and kind of just tell you a little about what else we do in the community. And without further ado, this is Bill Connors. He's one of our area supervisors.
Thank you for having us. Like Eric said, my name is Bill Connors. I'm an area supervisor for the Spartan system of Wolverine Pipeline. And I've been with Wolverine for a little over 40 years, and I'm based out of Alma. Our pipeline system does come into Bay County and actually delivers over here by the Bay to Marathon. So this is, like Eric said, history, a little bit of history of Wolverine. So we'll just get right at it here. And we are a local company in Michigan. Our headquarters is based out of Portage, Michigan. We've been in business for over 60 years. We do not own any of the product in our pipelines. We are just a shipper like UPS or FedEx. We just deliver the product for our companies that put into our pipeline. The tariffs we charge to transport the product from point A to point B is regulated by the federal government. We operate almost 650 miles of active pipeline, excuse me, in 3 states, moving product from west to east. We transport over 300,000 barrels a day through our pipeline system, which is almost 13 million gallons, which services about 35% of Michigan use. The map here is actually our whole system. As you can see, we start in the west in Joliet, Lockport, Lamont, Illinois. Travels to the east. The block in white is actually our main base. I guess I call it our hub, where all the pipelines run into. And from that point, it delivers it farther east. It's in our Hammond, Indiana area. Our pipeline runs Niles. We have an extension that goes up Grand Haven and Ferrisburg. And then my area starts just kind of between Niles and Marshall, and it runs into Jackson, Stockbridge. Then we deliver to Lansing Terminal and also Bay City Marathon Terminal. These maps actually show the Bay County where our pipelines run. The pipeline in red, and then just a little lower towards the bottom of the screen, it's kind of in a purple color. We have 2 pipelines in that area, and that's why it shows that color. But one of them is idled, but the red one comes all the way from, actually Stockbridge, and we service the terminal down there by Bay City on Marquette. This is the Bay City portion of it, where it comes in. It's off Wilder Road, and it comes in, turns and goes into the terminal. Safety is a priority for Wolverine. Pipeline's heavily regulated. Main regulatory agency is Pipeline and Hazardous Materials Safety Administration, or PHMSA, which is part of the DOT, Department of Transportation. PHMSA's responsibilities are assuring the safe transportation of hazardous materials in the pipeline. We're regulated and interfaced often with other federal agencies also. Wolverine meets the technical standards set for the industry. The technical standards apply to all phases of pipeline safety. Examples include our welding of our pipeline, the manufacturing of our pipe, and the wall thickness of our pipeline. Our integrity management program continually evaluates the risk of our operations. Data is collected at various frequencies, analyzed, improvement areas are identified, and changes are implemented to mitigate or eliminate any risk. And it's been a very highly successful regulation that has a positive outcome. We do, for building community awareness, we do have face-to-face meetings annually with first responders, public officials. By Wolverine field personnel, we deliver small gifts out and just let them know that we're in the neighborhood, and we give them contact information so they know how to get hold of us. So try to be a good neighbor. We have an annual response drill, which includes local first responders as available to build a working relationship. And what they do is, the location varies every year that we do this. We do have annual mailings that go out to 3 stakeholders: public officials, first responders, contractors, affected public, which if you have the pipeline in your property, you'll receive a brochure in the mail. So the website is interactive. Visitors can leave a message on our website. Questions, they're checked on daily, Monday through Friday. There's a response to each question. Annual mailing brochure is reviewed to ensure it meets PHMSA's requirements and is current in all matters. Our safety programs are numerous state and federal programs that promote pipeline safety. 811 is the national number now for our one call, or our MISDIG system. And I'll get into that in a few more minutes, but state and local governments provide zoning and land use planning for guidance. Safety is promoted through proper risk-informed planning, design, and construction. In Michigan, we work with our terminals that we connect to ensure that they are in compliance with their tank safety regulations. And Wolverine has an excellent emergency response leadership. There's numerous ways that we prevent accidents. Third-party damage to the pipeline is actually the biggest cause of any damage that we have with the pipeline system. Preventing damage from digging is our top priority. We try to educate all who try to, may dig around, including farmers and homeowners. It's a free service for us to come out or calling Misdig or 811. Corrosion prevention has always been a major focus for Wolverine. We have our own corrosion department in addition to several other contractors. Advanced coating that is put on the pipeline and cathodic protection. It's a constant low voltage electrical current that's applied to the pipeline, also helps thwart the corrosion. We smart peg our pipeline, which is kind of a picture up in the right-hand corner of a smart peg. We actually insert the pig in oversized pipe, and we use the product to push it right down the pipeline, and what it does is it reads the wall thickness. We take it out at the other end. We're required every 5 years. We run each segment at least once every 5 years. Comes out, they give us, the information they give us is amazing. I mean, it shows us pitting or dents or just issues with, there might be a pipeline close to us. They'll show, it'll show that there's metal within close proximity, even though it's a steel pipe. We actually get a report from them, and then what we do is we actually go out in the field and we do confirmation digs. We actually verify in the field what the tool run has said, and once we do that, they come out with a final report, and we set up our repair plan for that year. Wolverine monitors our pipelines from our control center. It's manned 24/7, which is located in our portage office. They actually have a secured room. It's password protected that they control our whole pipeline from that room. The operators of the control center, they monitor everything from flow rate, pressure, the opening and closing of valves, etc. Anything that happens alerts the controller on duty to abrupt changes and allowing him to respond rapidly. We conduct area patrols at least 26 times a year by DOT's requirements, but we try to fly our line in Michigan once a week. It just flies to where they can see things that we can't from the ground. And so, but the reason we try to fly every week is so we don't miss our 21-day DOT requirement. And if we get close to that, we actually do ground patrol. Keeping the right-of-ways clear from obstructions such as trees and structures allows more efficient patrols and immediate access in case of an emergency. Wolverine employees spend a lot of time in training, with safety and regulatory training being the majority of the training. Our safety toolkit includes, we have monthly safety meetings, job loss analysis, procedures, work permits, and peer-to-peer observations where one employee will observe another employee and just critique how he's doing the job. And then we sit down and discuss to see if it could have been done better or if there's any questionable items. Emergency preparedness and response. Wolverine is required to prepare a comprehensive emergency response plan and have the resources available to implement a worst-case scenario cleanup. Plans are reviewed and approved by PHMSA. Various federal, state, and local emergency planning officials are also involved. We utilize the incident command structure to manage the emergency and align with local and agency responders. Cleanup refers to a broad range of efforts, including containment, direct recovery of the spill, long-term remediation, and environmental monitoring. Containment, recovery, and cleanup are fundamental to the response efforts, but avoiding release is our first priority. We do annual spill drills. We select locations along the pipeline to stage full-scale releases. And all agencies, local, state, and federal, participate. Yearly, we do a comprehensive emergency spill drill, including federal, state, and local agencies also. And that's coming up next week, actually. We do contract companies who supplement our emergency response. We call them our OSROs. They're the professionals in cleanup of environmental, releases or things like that. A high recovery of the spill is the rule, not the exception. So we hope everybody's heard of Misdig, and now we do have Misdig, but You know, we also have the 811 call number now. You call 811, it connects you to wherever you're wanting to do the work. It's an easy call, it's free, and hundreds and thousands of preventable incidents occur each year by not calling. So call 811 or MISDIG. It's a free service, and all the services that go along with it are free. Once you call professional locators, we come out, we mark our utilities, and actually if you're working within 10 foot of our pipeline, we'll stay with you all day. We'll be there all week with you. There's no cost. However, if you dig before calling 811 and cause damage, your cost may include harm to you or your family, damage to your property, utility service outages, potential fines and repair costs. Never assume you can tell where a pipeline lays. You see a pipeline marker on each side of the road, you can look at a fence roll 400 or 500 yards out and you can see it. That doesn't mean the pipeline runs in a straight line. Pipelines are laid and they'll have PIs in them or bends in them, taking them to certain directions, and then it goes out that field. So don't hesitate to call. On this picture, it kind of shows you some of the things that's happened to Wolverine for people that haven't really called MISDIG. The one up in the left-hand corner, we were with this person all day, and he was running a bulldozer, and you can see how the bulldozer fared, but luckily the man got out with no injuries. But we were with him all day, and he said he was done for the day, so our person left, and he decided, well, I'll take a little more off the pipeline, and that's when he hit it, and it was in gasoline. So he was very lucky. Picture on the bottom is actually gouges and dents from a pole being installed, and there was no MISDIG ever called in on it. So we found that actually with a tool run, and we go in and we actually sleeve the pipe and repair it. Backhoe damage on the top right. On that one, the backhoe hits and scrapes the pipe, and eventually with the the flow and the pressures in the pipeline, it started a little hairline crack and some seepage. So then the bottom one was actually a farmer putting in field top, and he didn't like the pipe straight, so he put a little bend in it. So. What is a right-of-way? The right-of-way is a strip of land up to 100 foot. Most ours are anywhere from 66 feet, 75. We have some. Excuse me. We clear the right-of-ways to allow Wolverine to safely patrol the pipeline, monitor, inspect, and maintain the right-of-way. This clear strip of land allows for Wolverine to monitor and have time of access to the pipeline in case of emergency. So we do try to keep our right-of-ways clear, once again for the pilots, so they can see if there's any kind of activity going on in the middle of a field somewhere, or middle of a woods where we can't see from the road. So we do keep in contact with the homeowners on the right-of-way, especially before we go in and do any work. The federal regulation requires visual inspection of the surface and condition at least 26 times a year. So that's why we do it weekly, and actually in Michigan we never know what the weather's going to be, and they can't fly under certain conditions, so we don't want to meet that 21 days. It's pretty tough when we take all our employees to have to actually walk the pipeline to survey it within that 21 days. So we appreciate our pilots. The tree roots that grow around the pipeline, that's why we maintain and try to get the trees away from the pipeline. The roots that grow around the pipeline, they work on the coating, they destroy coating, and a lot of times, even if it's a bigger tree and we have a storm go through, it could damage the pipeline if the wind blows it over, a tornado goes through, and cause a lot of problems, not just to the pipeline, but to the environment, and maybe someone that's living there. So, an easement agreement, a specific area that Wolverine has the right to use. It's an easement. We do not own this portion that the pipeline lays in. The easement stays with the property for the lifetime of the property, no matter how many times it's changed hands. The easement's always there. Gives us the right to construct, reconstruct, renew and operate, maintain and repair, change the size and remove. Perpetual right is no matter who owns the land once again, or builds near the easement, so it's just our right. This is the right of way as we're talking about clearing it. The two pictures on the left are really poor maintained right of way. Pilots fly over, we call it the canopy over the pipeline, so they're flying and all they're doing is looking at the top of the trees. The one on the right, you can see it's been cleared, and then the one side has already been side trimmed, and then the other side, that's what it looked like before it was side trimmed. Here's conditions of very freshly cut and mowed right-of-ways, good condition. And then the one on the right, we actually do go through properties and take trees out and things like that. But anytime we go in and make a mess of someone's yard, we do take care of their yard. Usually better than what it was before we were in there. We use landscapers. We're not professional landscapers, so we do spend the money to put the people's property back in order. Pipeline transportation is the safest, most economical, efficient method. Without pipelines, Wolverine would need 1,500 tanker truck loads per day, a load delivery every minute around the clock. And the pipeline safety awareness is working, 63% less. And down on the bottom, there's some informational websites that you can look. You got your National Pipeline Mapping System, which shows all the pipelines throughout the United States. And actually, all this is in your folders that you guys, that we passed out to everybody. So to end it, protecting people, environment, and property, we being a good neighbor to the community and meeting the energy, transportation need of the future. That's what we're here for. Any questions?
Commissioner Coonan.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Is there a continuous flow in that pipeline? Because, depending upon the time of year, you use less gas than you use.
Yeah, it's, what we do is we have a scheduler that schedules our pipeline deliveries. But most generally, the pipeline is flowing 24/7. We will have shutdowns for a 24-hour period or sometimes a 12-hour period. So, but the pipe is always full.
And then they must divert it. When you go over to Marquette, where the terminals are, you must hit a lot of those different terminals there somehow. I would imagine.
Well, actually, we deliver into that one terminal at Marquette.
Oh, you mean one of those big tanks is just one terminal?
No, I'm sorry. Our pipeline, we deliver to their terminal, and they do all the switching to those tanks and everything. We deliver to them, and they take care of all that.
And you're down about 4 foot or 4 foot?
Our pipeline varies. This pipeline was put in, we'll try to guess on this one. I think it was in the 60s. And we're regulated on by DOT on pipe depth anymore, and it's actually, I think, a minimum of 36 inches. This pipeline was laid there. Most generally, this pipeline is close to 3 foot deep on an average.
What's the circumference?
Diameter is 8-inch pipeline.
Thanks.
Commissioner Begic.
Yes, we have our local emergency planning committee. Some of our people are here today, and pipeline safety is a big part of it. We have meetings on it regularly and training on it. Now the DEQ was there quite a bit too, talking about pipeline safety. So what do you think about the XL pipeline and its safety? Think it would be safe?
I think our pipeline is very safe.
Thank you.
I think
Anyone
any
else?
pipeline is.
Question for you. So the pipeline that's in Bay County is over 50 years old, correct? Has sections of it been upgraded or?
No.
And I
We run our inline inspection tools. We do any repairs that may come up.
Very good, very good. Motion to receive would be in order. Whoops, I'm sorry. Commissioner Lutz.
A little spin on his question, what's the life expectancy of the pipeline?
Pipeline will last forever with the right maintenance activities on it. I had pipeline that was put in 1935, and I sleep good at night. I
Excellent.
wasn't born then, but I sleep good at night.
Very good. No other questions? Motion to receive would be in order. Any other discussion? With that, all in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? It's done. Thank you so much for the information.
Thank you for having us.
Yep. We will move over to B, the City of Bay City application for an industrial facilities tax exempt certificate, Michigan brand and Delta containers. Motion to receive would be in order.
So moved.
Support.
Discussions on the issue. All those in favor signal by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. We'll go to Michigan State University Extension 2014 Annual Report. Motion to receive would be in order.
Support.
Any questions on that? If none, all those in favor signal by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. We will now move into reports and resolutions of committees. We'll go to Ways and Means. Commissioner Coonan.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. From the Ways and Means Committee, we have Resolution 2015-62. This is an agreement with court innovators from the District Court and the Prosecutor's Office. I move this resolution. Support.
Discussions. I just have one. I see Mr. Mead is here. How soon will all of this be in effect? When will it be up and running?
This is the courthouse information and innovations. We're currently using that, and we'll just continue using that. So it's actually live right now.
Okay,
Yes.
very good. Anyone else? All those in favor signal by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
Resolution 2015-63. This is courthouse technologies from the courts. I move this resolution. Support.
Discussion. No discussion. All those in favor signal by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
Resolution 2015-64, Family Drug Court and Juvenile Drug Court Program, Circuit and District Court. I move this resolution. Support.
Discussion. With none, all those in favor signal by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
Resolution 2015-65, Family and Juvenile Drug Court Program, grants from the probate. I move this resolution.
Support.
Discussion. With none, all those in favor signal by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
Resolution 2015-66, the replacement of a patrol vehicle from the Sheriff's Office. I move this resolution. Support.
Discussion. With none, all those in favor signal by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
Resolution 2015-67, Port Security Grant Program. This is from Marine Patrol. The Marine Patrol boat from the Sheriff and Emergency Management. I move this resolution. Support.
Discussion. With none, all those in favor signal by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
Resolution 2015-68, Assistant Prosecutor vacancy from the Prosecutor's Office. I move this resolution. Support.
Discussion. With none, all those in favor signal by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
Resolution 2015-69, addendum to the intergovernmental agreement for the establishment of a substance use disorder policy or oversight policy board for the Mid-State Health Network. I move this resolution. Support.
Discussion. With none, all those in favor signal by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
Resolution 2015-70, 2015-71. This is is it 70, Deanne? Okay, thank you. Revised annual work plan fiscal year 2015 from MSU Extension. I move this resolution.
Discussion. With none, all those in favor signal by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
Resolution 2015-71. This is the 2015 Bay County Equalization from the Equalization Department. I move this resolution. Support.
Discussion. With none, all those in favor signal by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
Resolution 2015-72, amendment number 1 to the fiscal year 2014-2015 agreement with the Michigan Department of Environmental Quality from the Health Department. I move this resolution.
Discussion. With none, all those in favor signal by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
Resolution 2015-73, amendment number 2 to the fiscal year 2014-2015 comprehensive planning, budgeting, and contracting agreement with the Health Department. I move this resolution.
Support.
Discussion. With none, all those in favor signal by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
Resolution 2015-74, this is the acceptance of a contribution for the purchase of the Easy Dock at the Bay City State Recreational Area through the Environmental Affairs and Community Development. I move this resolution. Support.
Discussion. I do have a question for Laura. Does it look like, as time goes on, that this stuff would be in place by Memorial Weekend?
Yes.
And we've got the green light from the Corps as well as...
Yes, that's a 15-day review. I've already talked to them. They're pretty much waiting on today's decision by the board, and so we've got the
Good.
things on order. We just have to process this check now, and so yes, it should.
Very good. I just wanted to mention, you know, we appreciate the work that's being done behind the scenes. People have no idea what you deal with between the DNR, the DEQ, and the Corps to try to get more access to the Saginaw Bay. So thank you. We're going to approve it. We'll continue to move on. So thanks. All those in favor signal by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
Resolution 2015-75, this is an extension of the market lease to 12/31/15 through the Recreation and Facilities. I move this resolution. Support.
Discussion. With none, all those in favor signal by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
Resolution 2015-76, Boys and Girls Summer Recreation Program, Recreation and Facilities. I move this resolution. Support.
Discussion. With none, all those in favor signal by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
Resolution 2015-77, Civic Arena Youth Program, Recreation and Facilities. I move this resolution.
Support.
Discussion. With none, all those in favor signal by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
Resolution 2015-78, Civic Arena Helmet Rental through the Recreation and Facilities. I move this resolution. Support.
Discussion. I do want to mention or ask, Kristen, you know, starting off with this new group of people and the fact that we've got helmets and equipment, if I'm a parent and I have a youngster that wants to get involved, whether it be male or female, what kind of cost are we going to be able to save these people to help them get a taste of what hockey's all about?
For the free youth program, we are providing skates, a stick, helmet, and gloves, and a foam puck. And if you were to buy that outright, it'd be somewhere in the neighborhood of $175, and that's just for equipment, not to mention the ice time, depending on how long the program lasts. Sometimes that can be upwards of $100 per child. So it's a really great program to get the kids to love hockey and to learn how to play and create skaters for the long term.
And I would assume the ice time that they would be allowed to play would be reasonable, unlike maybe some adults that might play later in the night or earlier in the morning. Is that correct?
Yeah, the ice time with this free program is part of the program. It's free as well, so.
Very good. Thank you. Any other discussion? With none, all those in favor signal by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
Resolution 2015-79, Professional Services Agreement for the Equalization from Personnel. I move this resolution. Support.
Discussion. With none, all those in favor signal by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
Resolution 2015-80, Payables, General, Bayonet, Center Ridge, Arms. I move this resolution. Support.
Discussion. With none, all those in favor signal by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
Resolution 2015-81, Post Audit and Investigative Functions, Finance. I move this resolution. Support.
Discussion. With none, all those in favor signal by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
Resolution 2015-82, budget adjustment from the community center, and I believe that's for the gym floor.
Gym floor, yes.
So I move this resolution. Support.
Just another attaboy for Kristen. I mean, we're moving along. Basketball players should be very happy come fall. Vaughn, you might be able to dunk the ball because you'll be a little higher maybe. Just kidding. Yes, you got it. All those in favor, signal by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
And Mr. Chairman, that's all the business from Ways and Means.
Thank you, Commissioner Coonan. We'll move into Personnel, Human Services. Commissioner Mike Lutz.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Today, I'd like to bring Resolution 2015-83 before the board. That's everywhere you go advertising from the recreation and facilities at the Civic Arena. I'd like to move that.
So, support.
Discussion. With none, all those in favor signal by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
Item number 2 is Resolution 2015-84 from Nismoka. Head Start Agreement from the Health Department.
Support.
Discussion. With none, all those in favor signal by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
Next item is Resolution number 2015-85, which is Viridian Health Management Agreement from the Health Department. I'd like to move that.
Support.
Discussion. With none, all those in favor signal by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
Next item is Resolution 2015-86, which is the Delta College Fitness Center Agreement for 2015 and 16 from the Personnel Department and Wellness Program. I'd like to move that.
Support.
Discussion. With none, all those in favor signal by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
Item number 5 is Resolution 2015-87, which is the vacancies for the 911 Central Dispatch, the Recreation and Facilities for Building and Grounds. Move that.
Support.
Discussion. With none, all those in favor signal by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
Item number 6 is Resolution 2015-88, which is the 2015 and annual auction from the Recreation Facilities, Buildings and Grounds. I'd like to move that.
Support.
Discussion. With none, all those in favor signal by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
And with that, that's all I have for Personnel and Human Services.
Thank you, Commissioner Lutz. We'll move into Board of Commissioners. Commissioner Tilley.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. We have Resolution 2015-89, report to the county executive. I so move this resolution.
Support.
Discussion. With none, all those in favor signal by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
That concludes business of the Board of Commissioners, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Commissioner Tilley. We'll move into reports of county officials and departments. Under A, County Exec. Mr. Hickner, do you have anything?
No, sir.
Very good. We'll move into unfinished business. Is there anything that needs to be discussed? Nothing under unfinished business. We'll move into new business. We have an upcoming auction of a privately owned Saginaw County Maple Leaf Golf Course that may have some equipment that we would be interested in. There's a resolution.
So moved. Support.
Any discussion? Commissioner Herrick.
Yeah, Kristen, are you going to this? I'm just wondering when I look at it, if you could go maybe ahead of time and if they would take a bid for just all the carts, you know what I'm saying, rather than have somebody look at them, you know, and somebody, you know, there'd be people there trying to buy the best ones, you know.
My understanding is there's 5 different people that are going to be involved with going and looking at it. Kristen, maybe you can bring them up to speed.
Yeah, we talked to the auction company and they're going to allow us in 3 days early. So what we're going to do is we're going to bring a team from the golf course and from our mechanics from Buildings and Grounds, and we're going to go check out all the carts. Since we haven't looked at them yet, I don't know if all of them are worthwhile. But if they are, I could definitely ask about that possibility.
But you know what I'm saying, sometimes even if you take the ones that aren't as good, if you can get, but if you have a budget, you can get them all rather than throwing them all out there for everyone to bid on and get them all out there at one time and get the best one. You're gonna get everything. But you get with the best ones, you get some junky ones too. but sometimes you save money because you're not bidding against this guy over here, then somebody else bids on another one over here, and, rather than get a few, you can get all the ones wrong. But I don't know, but then again, that all depends on your inspection and what you see.
Right, and I don't think we'll know the answer to that until all the guys take a look at all the carts and see what quality, like what kind of shape they're in. But we do have 3 days to take a look at them, and we'll make an appointment with the auction company, and we'll get in there and we'll get all the, we'll get all the carts looked at and make a determination which ones are good and which ones aren't, and which ones we're interested in. So, but I'll keep that in the back of my mind.
Yeah, because I don't know what a golf cart costs, obviously. I walk all the time, so.
It's good exercise.
I know they can be expensive, and I know guys, there's people who like to have them as their own. They like to take them up to their property up north and do whatever with them. But, there was just a thought, it seems like sometimes it's a better way to go, but, you're in charge of that whole deal, so just something to think about, because you might be able to pull one off, if you get the best deal that way. And I don't know until you see it.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Very good. If you did have a cart, you'd probably have to have a horn on it, huh? Commissioner Lutz, you had a question for Kristen.
Well, this here talks about the golf carts, but we do have other equipment that potentially could be secured there, which would be the fairway mower that we have problems with. I don't know how we would, and I know there's some problems with budget and things like that, because we want to pay for everything out of the golf course fund.
Well, let me ask Kristen, when do you expect to review the equipment that's out there, if there's more than just golf carts?
They told us we could get out there on the 22nd, which is the day after personnel judicial.
Okay.
So, and that's the earliest they'll allow us out there.
Yeah, so that does present a problem. I would say if there was equipment that we saw before, we could always do a full board to approve it, but we'll just have to wing it and make the best out of what we got in front of us. So, good idea, just poor timing. Very good.
I'm trying.
Yes, you are. Anything else? Is there a motion? And seconded? Very good. All those in favor, signal by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Anything under miscellaneous? Yes, Commissioner Tilley.
Two things. Next week on Wednesday, the 22nd, from 8 to 10 a.m. is Bay Future's annual report meeting. I'd like to invite all the board members and administration, hopefully to attend that meeting. It's from 8 to 10 a.m. at the Doubletree. We have a keynote speaker, Don Jakeway, who has been in economic development for many, many years. Come hear what's going on, get the lowdown directly from us at this meeting, what we've been doing and where we plan on going, and there are really some exciting things hopefully coming down the line.
Wonderful.
Right. And then secondly is that going back to the green stuff, and we did the CFL bulbs a few years ago,
Yep.
Change the Light Bulb, Change the World. The city of Bay City is offering, and I think it's up to $150 or $200 in rebates if you go to Menards or Home Depot and buy LED light bulbs. You can then apply those bulbs to your electric bill, and they will reduce your bill by that amount. The details are available on their on the Bay City Electric website. But these LED bulbs use about 80% less power than the CFL bulbs currently do, and they're a safer bulb to dispose of.
If someone would want more information on it, who can they contact?
The City of Bay City. Yep, and they would direct you right to their website. And there's an application that you fill out.
Okay.
You take your receipt, you staple it to the application, you take it to Bay City, Bay City Electric, and give it to them, and they apply it towards your electric bill. So next month's bill is reduced by that amount of money, or going forward, how much is whatever it might be.
Wonderful. Commissioner Harris?
I like to piggyback on what he's saying there, that because I'm looking at it, I was looking at buying some right now, because I don't know exactly what he's talking about. But for example, like a nice $7.50, you can get a nice LED bulb, and they'll rebate $5 of it. So you're really getting a bulb for $2.50 that's going to last for 20 years. It's going to last longer than I'm going to need one, I can tell you that.
They do. They're much more efficient than the CFL bulbs, and they last much longer than both the CFL and or the incandescent bulbs.
Yep. True.
So I strongly encourage our constituents to get out and take advantage of that program before all the funds are used up.
Very good. And Commissioner Coonan, what's coming up in June?
I believe it's the third Saturday in June, isn't it?
Be the 20th.
20th, 9th Annual Beach Wellness. We've got the flyers out, and we're going to have our 5K run and a walk, 10K run, volleyball tournament, maybe some car shows, old cars driving up on the grass, and yourself and Bob and myself, we're going to put together a cleanup very soon. We're gonna, and I think last year we were very fortunate, maybe due to the higher water levels, we didn't have a lot of muck, and hopefully this year the same. So, and then Laura was here as well. We're going to get access, Laura, on the shoreline. I believe it's where they would go out on the ice, correct?
Yes.
And that's going to be another, and we're going to clean up another 1,000 foot down there, right?
The 1,000 feet is still pending some resolution with permit.
But if you have access to that, I don't know why you couldn't pick up the rear.
Well, it's still a work in progress. I know, Laura, if you want to come up, maybe you could address that a second. Dealing with these bureaucrats can be very trying. So, Laura, if you...
Okay. One thing I will say, through the chair, thank you very much for asking. George Longer, the manager from the state park, and I walked that shoreline last week, and there was some minimal amount of trash. There was a beach cleanup this past Saturday, so there were Cub Scouts and Delta College biology students that were picking up the trash. However, the rest of it is like natural debris, probably 2 feet thick areas of zebra mussel shells, old logs that have washed in. That type of grooming or cleaning, we actually don't even need a permit for. As long as we don't take that heavy equipment down there and run it up and down the beach using that heavy equipment. However, if we got teams of volunteers through the Friends or through Delta College and just did by hand using rakes or shovels, we could use a wheeled cart along that sand path, we'd be able to do a lot as far as grooming. But we at this particular point, we can't use the equipment at this particular point. But that is what.
And I understand what you're up against. I mean, you can go out and use, basic laborers to do what could be done in half the time with the equipment that we purchased for beach grooming. So, again, we're dealing with individuals that are making it extremely difficult for us to have nice access to a facility that needs to be done. And if it comes down to that, then we will probably have to do something so that we get it. But our legislators need to pay attention to the hoops that we're having to jump through and the whistles that need to be blown because it's pure. I think it's called something in a pasture by a bull. I'm not quite sure how the rest of it goes, but it is what it is. And Commissioner Coonan?
Laura, you walked that, so in that section, that 1,000-foot section, which is pretty close to the parking lot, that people can get down to the beach very easily. How much land or sand is there from the water up? Is there not a lot?
This can be pretty complicated talking about it. Just kind of, but in a nutshell, I'll try and describe the situation. Because, in January, when we went down to the Army Corps of Engineers to meet with them, that's when we really came to understand that there are deed restrictions placed on that beach.
Yeah, they stole the property, correct?
So now, if you can imagine, a deed restriction basically looks like a rectangle on a piece of paper. If you were looking at a drawing of a rectangle on a piece of property, right, on a piece of paper. Keeping in mind that the water has come up, and so part of this rectangle that they're saying is a deed restriction is underwater. So, and yet they're still saying it's deed restricted property that's underwater. However, as the waters come up, it's knocked down, it's flattened, that dune out at the beach. Remember there was that little, kind of that little
A ridge.
ridge that you had to walk up, you know, kind of had a little bit of elevation out there just before the water's edge. It's knocked that dune, it's flattened it, so that sand has moved back into what they're calling wetlands area. So in some places, that's actually, might be 30 feet wide. It's unvegetated, it's sandy material, and it's above the water's edge. By all definition, that means it's a beach. But because it's within this, deed restricted area, that's the challenge, and that's what we're working on. There is a meeting coming up that's been set. And right now, even though we've struggled over the years, we finally have identified all of the hurdles, these kind of mystery hurdles. Now, really, it's a matter of addressing those. This is now we're in the problem-solving stage, and the Corps of Engineers, I have to say, has been pretty agreeable. They have their laws that they have to deal with, and we just have to work together and work through this process.
Well, I certainly appreciate you attending those meetings, and it was probably good I wasn't there.
Yeah, I would say.
But that will change. But thank you for your patience, and, you know, one way or another, we will have more access to that bay, whatever it takes. And if we have to do it by wheelbarrow and rake and shovel, then we'll certainly do that. And I won't say that some of the coolie cups might not have a Michelob Light or two in it, but that's a possibility. So we'll continue to go forward. It's only taken 15 years from the year 2000 to get to where we're at, but, you know, there's still a future. Thank you. Anything else, Mr. Coonan?
No, that's good, Mr. Chairman.
Very good. We'll move from miscellaneous to announcements. There's a few of them. In June, there's a library board, a 5-year term coming up. Currently, Christine Rivet is there. In October, we've got a land bank authority. There's a one at-large representative, and it's a 3-year term. Matt DeHouse, I believe, is there. Department of Human Services Board of Directors, it's a 3-year term. Cynthia Howell is there, and a note on this is that it is a governor's appointment. Under C, Board of Canvassers, 2 4-year terms that are picked. Walter Wozniak Jr. and Matt Lance are the 2 people that are nominees, and the party will pick those. In November, we have a building authority. It's a 2 6-year terms, Gary Phillips and Rick Bukowski. And in December, Division on Aging Advisory Committee, 4 2-year terms in Districts 1, 3, 5, and 7. So those of you that are out there that are interested, that's what's coming up. Do we have a need for a closed session?
No, Mr. Chair, we do not.
Very good. Thank you so much.
Motion to adjourn.
Support.
Discussion. Of course, none. All those in favor signal by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? We are adjourned. Thank you.